The night was really something because the leather laughed loud. It was a night and the leather was laughing. The leather just laughed, and it was too loud. The night and the leather were just not normal that time, because the leather laughed loud. The jukebox was really struggling to stay alive. It was a time for the jukebox. The jukebox was doing everything it could to survive. The music tried to be heard over the noise of the bar. It was hard to hear, because of the sound of pool balls hitting each other, and the loud laughter that sounded a little nasty. There was smoke over the ceiling like a big gray cloud. The bright signs made everyone look a little tougher than they really were. This was the kind of place where people went to forget who they were. Then they got mad when someone else remembered their name. The bar was like that. People came to the bar to forget their problems, like their names. The music at the bar tried to be loud. It was still hard to hear over all the other noise. Emily walked through everything, like Emily did not belong with all the noise. The noise was something that was happening around Emily. Emily just kept moving. The waitress was a person you would not notice if you were not looking at her. She wore jeans and a simple white shirt with buttons. Her hair was tied back. She did not wear a lot of makeup. The waitress carried a tray of food and drinks with ease, like it was very light. She moved between people without touching them. She smiled without wanting to be noticed. When she said, "Excuse me," it sounded like she was saying sorry for being. That is exactly why some men noticed the woman. The woman had something that caught the attention of some men. This is because the woman stood out in a crowd, and some men could not help but notice her. The woman was the center of attention. For some men, she was not like that because she wanted to be loud, or because she was trying to flirt with people, or because she wanted everyone to admire the woman she was, because she wasn't. Some people just can't handle it when someone is quiet. These people think that being quiet means you are weak. They think that being humble means you are giving them permission to do whatever they want. They see boundaries as a test, something they need to push against. Emily is a person. When she is in a room with men who want to feel important, her calm nature makes them feel unimportant. The front door at the bar opened up. You could feel the air change. This happened at the end of the bar. The air was different all of a sudden when the front door opened. The cold air that came in was not the problem. The cold draft that came in was really bad. It was the presence. Leather jackets and heavy boots made a lot of noise when the bikers walked in. They had chains on. You could hear the metallic jingle of the chains. The smell of engine oil and road dust was over them. It was like they owned the place. The bikers were laughing loud, even louder than the music that was playing. They did things without thinking. Their hands moved really fast. The bikers seemed confident, but it was not a nice kind of confidence. It was like they never took no for an answer. The leather jackets and the bikers just did what they wanted. The bartender, a guy named Gus, stood up straight and kept his face calm. Gus did not like fights. He knew not to mess with trouble when it was looking for a problem. The bikers took some tables, kicked the chairs back with their boots. They ordered drinks like they were betting on something. Emily did not look at them. She just kept doing her job. She wrote down what the bikers wanted to drink. She brought them beers. She filled up their water glasses. Then she moved on to the table. The bikers were still being loud and demanding drinks. Emily just kept working. Did not pay attention to them. She brought the bikers what they wanted. Then she moved on. This person was really watching her. It was like when a dog sees a rabbit, and it does not take its eyes off it. The dog just keeps staring at the rabbit. This person was doing the thing with her. This man was really tall. He was also very wide. He had a lot of tattoos on his arms. They looked like vines. His beard was cut neatly. His eyes were very sharp. Rex kept smiling like he thought everything was funny. The other people called him Rex. It was like they were talking about someone, not just saying his name. The time he talked to Emily, it was not to place an order. The man said to the waitress, "Hey, waitress." He snapped his fingers at her. The waitress is a person, not something you can just turn on and off. He told her to smile when she serves people. He said, "It makes the beer taste better when she smiles." The man called her sweetheart. Emily stopped for a moment, then put a glass down carefully. "Here you go," she said in a voice. "Do you need anything? Like something to eat or drink from the menu or something?" Rex leaned back in his chair, felt really offended because she did not shake or look scared. He said, "Yeah." Then he said, "How about some respect for Rex?" Emily looked at him with eyes. She said, "Respect goes both ways," to him. Emily wanted him to know that respect is something that Emily thinks is very important for both people in a conversation to show to each other. Emily felt that respect is not about one person respecting the other, but it is also about the other person respecting Emily back. The table just burst into laughter. I mean, the people sitting at the table started laughing hard. It was pretty funny. The table itself did not laugh. Of course it is an object. The people at the table, they were laughing so much. The table was the place where they were sitting and laughing, so that is why I said the table burst into laughter. The people at the table were laughing at something. I do not know what it was. It was really funny to them. Not because it was funny. They wanted to punish her. Because she spoke her mind like a person. She was talking like a person. That is why they wanted to punish her. Rex's smile got a little smaller. He said, "You guys hear that? This woman has got some opinions." Emily turned around, started to walk away from the place. She just kept on walking. The thing with Emily is that Emily did not want to be anymore, so Emily turned to walk away. Rex's hand shot out. He grabbed the edge of her tray. "No, that is still a bit formal." Rex reached out, grabbed the edge of her tray. "That is better." So the final version is, Rex reached out and grabbed the edge of her tray. The glassware rattled. It made a lot of noise when that happened. The glassware was really loud when it rattled like that. Emily held it tight with both of her hands. Her shoulders got really stiff. "Please do not," she said. She was not asking, she was telling him what she would and would not do. Emily was setting a limit, a boundary that she wanted him to respect. Rex leaned in close. His voice got really quiet. He said, "Or what?" That question was like a match that is hanging in the air above some gasoline. It is just waiting to set the thing off. That question is really like that match and the gasoline. Emily looked at him for a long time. Then she slowly picked up his hand from the tray. She did it in a way, but she was also very careful. After that, she took a step back from him. Emily was still looking at him. She was very calm. She just took his hand off the tray. Step back. She told me that she will get me whatever I want to order. I am not allowed to touch her. She made it very clear that my hands should not be on her body. The laughter got louder. It was like the people laughing thought that if they laughed loud, they could make the shame go away. The laughter just got louder and louder, trying to erase the shame. Rex got up fast and his chair made a loud noise on the floor. The chair scraping the floor was pretty loud. Rex was the one who stood up quickly. People definitely noticed. The music did not change. The air in the room did. The bar people had figured out the difference between being rowdy and being dangerous. This was not a man who wanted to have a good time. This was a man who needed to make someone else feel small, so the man could feel big and important. The music and the bar and everything else was still the same, but the man was different. The man was a man who needed someone to feel small, so the man could feel large. Wait a minute, Rex said, walking around in a circle like an animal that is playing but also looking for its next meal. You think you are better than us? You think you are better than the people who live in this place? You think you are better than everyone? You do not have to listen to what people tell you, to do like the rules that everyone else follows at this place. Emily's heart was beating fast, but she managed to keep her voice calm. I am here to do my job. Rex stepped close to her like he was getting in her face. Then do some work, he said. He pointed to his shirt. Wipe that stuff off me. I spilled a drop on myself. Emily took a look. She did not see any mess on the floor. There was no spill anywhere that Emily could see. A little test. A little trap. Gus saw the thing from behind the bar. His jaw got really tight. Gus also knew that trouble can turn into something really bad very quickly. Sometimes when you step in early, men like Rex can get even more upset and do something crazy, just to show they can do whatever they want. Gus knew that men like Rex liked to cause trouble. Emily got a towel from where she kept them and gave it to Rex. Here, she said. You can use the towel to wipe it, she told Rex. Rex looked at the towel. He thought it was really annoying. The towel was a towel, but to Rex the towel was like something that was bothering him. Rex did not like the towel at all. He stared at the towel. The bar got really quiet. People were looking at the TV. They were actually watching the tension between people. The tension was what everyone was looking at, even though they were trying to act like they were not. Rex's face really red. You think you are really smart? Emily did not answer. The woman started to turn from the thing that was in front of her. She was turning away. The woman was not looking at the thing anymore, because she started to turn. Something inside of Rex just broke. It was not something that happened all of a sudden. More like a pot of water that had been heating up for a long time and finally started to spill over. He took hold of the front of her button-up shirt. One sharp tug. The buttons on my shirt popped open, the fabric tore badly, and the sound of it ripping was so loud it cut right through the music coming from the jukebox. It was like a knife slicing through everything. The rip was loud and clear. The room was completely silent for a moment. Then it gasped. Everybody in the room gasped. The room gasped at what had happened. Someone laughed. It was a nervous laugh. Someone else whispered, "Man, that is not good." Emily stumbled back. She was really shocked. It was not just because of the force, but because of the humiliation that Emily felt. The humiliation was what really got to Emily. She wanted to cover her body. Her first thought was that she had to cover herself. The people were waiting for something to happen. It did not turn out that way. The crowd was looking for something that would surprise them. But there was not what the crowd expected. There was no dramatic exposure, no explicit skin, no spectacle. Because under the torn fabric was a fitted dark undershirt, plain, modest, practical. On it you could see something through the tear, and this thing made everybody in the entire bar just stop what they were doing and stare. A symbol. Not a trendy design. Not a flirty tattoo. A professional insignia, clean lines, bold placement, paired with a small set of numbers beneath it. The emblem of the United States. Marine Corps is something that is done carefully. It is not something that you would get from a tattoo that someone got when they were drunk and acting crazy. The United States Marine Corps emblem is done with a lot of precision. And beneath it in letters the words, "Still standing," really jumped out at me. They were like a punch to my gut. The phrase, "standing," was pretty powerful. The words, "still standing," had a big impact on me. The silence wasn't polite. I was really surprised. It was stunned. The thing that happened was so shocking that it was stunned. Rex's hand was just staying up in the air. It was like he had no idea what to do with it. The smirk on his face started to go. As he realized what was happening, his face, he looked surprised. Rex's smirk was. Recognition was all over his face. Because this wasn't decoration. It was identity. It was history. This was the kind of mark that someone gets when they do something. The mark is what someone earns. Emily's breath was steady. You could see something different in her eyes now. Her eyes did not look scared like they used to. Emily's eyes had. They looked different. They were older. The room felt small all of a sudden. It was like everyone just figured out that they had been laughing in a place where the people in the room should have been quiet. The room was a place where the people in the room should have been quiet. Rex's voice was shaking a bit when he said something. "Are you a Marine?" he asked, his voice cracking a little when he said the words Marine. He really wanted to know if the person was a Marine. Emily looked down at the torn shirt, then she looked up at him. "I was," she said. 2 words, not bragging, not begging. Just truth. The biker felt really unsure of himself. He tried to act like it did not bother him. It was clear he was not doing a good job. "So what?" he said. "You think that makes you someone the biker cannot touch?" Emily stepped back, fixed her torn clothes. She lifted her head high. "No," she said in a voice. "I think it shows everyone the kind of man. You really the kind of man you are." That was when Gus finally moved to a place. Gus really made the move. and it was a big change for Gus. The man walked around the bar moving slowly, but steadily like a storm that you just cannot stop. "Rex," he said, his voice was tight. "You are finished." Rex turned around, said, "Stay out of this, old man." Gus' eyes did not blink. He said, "This is my place," and that was that. Gus' place was important to him. He made it very clear that this was Gus' place. Rex puffed up. "Your place does not tell me what to do." The bar was really quiet now. Nobody was having a time at the bar. The people at the bar did not look entertained by what was happening at the bar. I saw a man who was digging his grave. The man was really digging his grave. It was a strange thing to watch the man dig his own grave. The man kept on digging his grave. And Emily, quiet Emily, wasn't crying. She was not running. She was not breaking. She put her hand into her apron. She pulled out something that was really small. The thing she pulled out was tiny. She had it in her hand now. The small thing was from her apron. Not a weapon. A phone. The woman pressed a button on the thing without looking at the screen. She just hit the button. Gus' eyes went to her hand. Then they went to Rex. "You have no idea what you just got yourself into?" Gus said. Rex laughed. "It did not sound real," he said. "Oh yeah." What did the woman do? Did the woman call her boyfriend? Emily looked at him. She said, "No." Emily did not look away. Emily said she called her brother. Rex let out a laugh. "Is your big brother going to come and save you?" Emily's voice became really cold, even colder than the beer that was sitting there. "He is not just my brother." She leaned in a bit closer, just enough for Rex to hear what she was saying. "The person who is in charge of me now is my commanding officer. My commanding officer is the one I have to listen to. My commanding officer is the person who gives me orders." Rex's smile was gone now. It had finally disappeared from his face. Rex's smile did not exist anymore. Outside I can hear sirens. They are away, but they are getting louder. The sound of the sirens is really loud. It is coming from a distance. Sirens are getting closer and closer. For the first time that night, Rex looked around and saw that the whole bar had stopped laughing at Emily. The whole place was quiet now. People were staring at Emily. Rex was looking at Emily. He felt bad for her. The whole bar was really quiet. It was all because of Emily. And started watching him. The sirens did not come for Emily. This is a strange thing to think about. The sirens and Emily. The sirens are these creatures that sing beautiful songs to lure people in. The sirens did not come for Emily. I wonder what Emily did to avoid the sirens. Maybe Emily was just not interested in what the sirens had to offer. The sirens are known for being pretty persuasive. They did not come for Emily. It is interesting to think about why. The sirens did not come for Emily. The sirens got louder and louder, going through the night, like things that were going to happen anyway. The sirens were really loud now. They were like things that you knew were coming. You could not stop them. The night was dark. The sirens were loud. Rex tried to act like he did not hear them. He held up his hands like the whole thing was just a big joke that went too far. "Relax," he said, looking at the faces of the people around him. Rex said that everybody is too sensitive about the Rex situation now. Nobody found it funny. The people just sat there. Not a single person was laughing at that moment. The joke was a failure. Nobody was amused by the joke. Not this time. The men who always came to this place and did not bother anyone else started to move in their seats. They realized that not saying anything was wrong. A woman who was sitting at the end of the bar looked down feeling bad that she did not say something earlier. Somebody said, "That is messed up," in a voice like saying this out loud could make what happened okay again. The regulars. These men were now feeling bad about staying silent. The woman at the end of the bar. She was feeling ashamed that she did not speak up sooner, that she did not say something about what happened. Emily kept her posture straight. Her hands shook a little when she was sewing the shirt, but Emily did not fall apart. Emily stayed strong. Fixed the shirt. She had crumbled once in her life. This was a tough time for her. The woman had fallen apart. It was very painful for the woman. The experience of the woman crumbling once in her life was something that the woman would always remember. She had promised herself that she would never do it again. The woman had made a promise to herself. That promise was that she would never do that thing again. Rex took one step toward her. Then he stopped when Gus stepped into his path. Gus did not raise his voice. He did not need to do that because Gus was already making his point clear to Rex. Gus was standing in front of Rex, so Rex stopped moving forward when he saw Gus. Gus told me that I have to go. He said it like this. You leave. Then he said, "Nowd." Rex stood up straight. Puffed out his chest, he said, "Or what will you do? You will throw Rex out." Gus' face stayed the same. His eyes said something different. They said that he had seen guys like Rex before. "Or you will find out what happens when people get tired of you," he said. Gus was talking about what people do when they stop being patient with guys like Rex. Rex looked at his crew. Some of them were still trying to act, but they did not seem very sure of themselves. One of the bikers, a guy, just kept staring at Emily's emblem. It was like he was seeing someone he loved, like his mother or sister or daughter. When he looked at that torn fabric, Rex really did not like that all. He had a feeling of dislike for that thing. Rex was not happy about that. The man did not like the change in power. The power was not with him anymore. The room was not focused on him like it used to be. He hated this situation. The room had moved away from the man. So he did what bullies do when they start losing control. He acted like a bully when the bully starts to lose power over the person. The bully did what bullies usually do when the bully is not in charge anymore. The man tried to make the situation worse. He wanted to escalate the problem. The problem is that the man tried to escalate things. Rex said this to me. He had a voice. I do not think he cared that the person was a Marine or a police officer, or even a queen. To Rex, that person was a waitress in a place like this restaurant. Rex thought the restaurant was not a place. The person was still a waitress to him. Emily's eyes got smaller. She was not mad and she was not crazy. She was just really focused on what she was saying. You are still a man who thinks you can just take respect from people, Emily said. Rex's hand clenched tightly into a fist. That is when the front door opened again. This time, it wasn't bikers. 2 police officers walked in. They were steady and alert. They looked around the room. Then a third person came in. He was not wearing a uniform. He was a man. He seemed calm. He was in control. This man looked like he had dealt with situations before. He probably used to work in a job that was always crazy. The man's eyes locked on Emily immediately. His eyes were fixed on Emily. Not like a stranger. Like family. Emily's throat got all tight. She said, "Marcus," quietly. Marcus walked across the bar in steps. He did not push anyone out of his way. People got out of his way without him touching them, like the air around Marcus was heavy. Marcus had a way of making people move without saying a word. He stood next to Emily and looked at her shirt. Then he looked at Rex's hand. It was still tightening, like it wanted to hurt someone. Marcus' face was calm. You could tell something bad was hiding behind his eyes. He was looking at Rex and Emily in the torn shirt, and his eyes were not calm, all something. About Marcus' eyes said, he was very angry inside. He wanted to know who touched his sister. He asked this question because he was really upset about what had happened to his sister. Who touched my sister? He asked again, looking for an answer. Rex lifted his chin. Tried to act like he was not scared. He said, "She called you that is funny. Are you the person who takes care of her or something?" Marcus did not answer. He looked at Emily instead. "Are you hurt?" Became. Marcus did not answer. He looked at Emily instead. "Are you hurt?" is rewritten to. Marcus did not answer. He looked at Emily. Marcus then asked Emily, "Are you hurt?" Emily swallowed. She said, "Not physically." Marcus' jaw got really tight. He turned to the police officers. "The woman wants to file a police report," Rex said. "What is the big deal?" It was a joke. One of the police officers, a woman with a face, stepped forward. "You are being charged with harassment and assault," she said in a firm voice. "Also, you are accused of destroying someone's property. If you do not cooperate, the police will add resisting arrest to the list of charges against you, which is sexual harassment and assault and destruction of property." Rex laughed again. He was really desperate. "Assault," he said. "I did not hit her." Rex repeated he did not assault her. Marcus looked right at Rex. Said, "You do not get to decide what hurt someone just because you did not hit them and leave a mark on their body. You do not get to define harm, Rex, just because Rex did not leave a bruise on someone." The words really hit me hard. The words landed hard on me. I felt the words landed hard. The room was totally aware that this was the truth. The people in the room knew it was true. Rex's crew started to get really restless. They were all talking to each other in voices. Someone said, "Come on, let us just go." Another person said, "This is not worth our time." Then someone else told Rex to calm down. Rex did not like it when the people around him questioned what he was doing. He took a step back, thought about what to do next. Then he put his hands up in the air like someone who was performing on a stage. "Fine," he said. "Whatever you think, I am leaving now." Rex was really upset because the people he trusted were having doubts about him. The man tried to walk toward the door like he still owned the room. He wanted to show everyone that the room was still his. The man was trying to act like he was in charge of the room. The room was very important to the man. He did not When he walked by Emily, he bent down, said quietly, "You just made an enemy of Emily." Emily's voice was really soft. It got the point across. "No," Emily said. "You made one for yourself." The officers came into the bar to take Rex away. The whole place felt better. The bar was really worried about what would happen with Rex. And now that he was leaving, people could relax. The officers were in charge. They took Rex out, and the people in the bar were relieved that Rex was going. Instant karma does not always show up a way. Sometimes you have to wait for instant karma to happen. Instant karma is not like a flash of lightning that you see in the sky. Sometimes the sound of silence is like a door closing. It is a feeling that the music has stopped and a door has closed on something. The door closing is a sound that makes you stop and think about what's happening with the silence and the door closing. When Rex got to the entrance, Marcus said something again. He said, "Stop." Rex turned around feeling really annoyed. He said, "What do you want now?" Marcus held up a thing that Emily had given to him. When the police officers were not paying attention to them, the small thing was something Emily had handed to Marcus. A silver ring. Not expensive, not flashy, but engraved. Marcus read it loud. He said, "This belongs to M. Carter, and it has a service number on it." Rex's face turned really pale. Emily's voice was steady. She said, "It fell off your hand when you grabbed me." "I saw the engraving on the thing that fell off your hand, the engraving on it." Marcus' eyes got really sharp. He said, "Is that a ring?" Rex swallowed. He said, "So what?" Marcus took one step forward. He said, "So either you took something that does not belong to you, or you are wearing something that you did not earn, something that Marcus thinks you should not be wearing." Rex's mouth opened. No sound came out of Rex's mouth. The younger biker said, "Rex has never served." The room was filled with a low sound of people talking. The room had a noise. People in the room were whispering to each other. The room murmured. Marcus' voice stayed calm. He said, "Then tell me whose service number you are wearing on that uniform of yours, the service number that's on it." Rex's eyes got really scared all of a sudden. He said, "Mind your business," to the person. Rex did not want anyone to know what was going on with him. He just told them to mind their business. He did not want to talk about it. Rex said, "Mind your business," like he was trying to make a point. Marcus nodded slowly. "This is my business," he said. "My sister was in the military with people who did not come home. We do not let cowards use the honor of people, like my sister who served. We remember people who served with my sister. They deserve our respect. My sister and the people she served with are the ones who really deserve the honor, not cowards." The lady police officer's face changed. "You said you did not hit her," she said to Rex. "Now we have proof that you tore her clothes, touched the woman. And you might be pretending to be someone you are not. The police will look into the woman. What happened to her too? We have to check everything about the woman and what you did to her." Rex's confidence was like paint that cracks and falls apart. It really broke down. The confidence that Rex had was not strong like it used to be. Rex's confidence cracked. The man turned toward the door. The police officers were already standing there. The police officer told me to put my hands behind my back. Rex's pride made him stop and think for a moment. The pride that Rex had was really making it hard for him to do what he wanted to do. Rex was as a person who let his pride get in the way. This was one of those times when Rex's pride was getting the better of him. That moment of hesitation really cost him. He should have acted faster. He did not, and now he has to deal with the consequences of his hesitation. The hesitation was a mistake for him. When the cuffs clicked, it was not the metal that closed around his wrists. The sound of the cuffs clicking was a lot more than that. It was like something else was happening when the cuffs clicked. The metal closing around his wrists was the start. It was the end of the room being afraid of him. Emily watched silently as Rex was escorted out. She felt really bad inside. Her chest was still tight, her hands were still cold. Emily made sure her spine stayed straight. Emily did not want to show how she was feeling. Marcus took off his jacket. Put it around her shoulders, really carefully. You should not have been by yourself in that, Marcus said. Emily's voice was shaking now. It was not because she was scared. It was because of something that felt really strong inside her. I was not by myself, Emily said. She looked around the bar at all the people. Not tonight, Emily said. Gus took a step closer to Emily, then he cleared his throat. He said to Emily, "Emily, I think I should have gotten involved a lot earlier." Emily looked at him with a face. She said, "You helped when you were able to?" Then she added, "Next time I want you to help the next girl even sooner." Gus nodded. His eyes were wet. He said, "You are right." The bar was quieter now. Not awkward, reflective. People were starting to understand something. They were figuring out that the worst part of being disrespected is not always the person who is doing the disrespecting, the bully. The worst part of disrespect is actually something, and that is what people were realizing, that the worst part of disrespect is not the bully itself, but something that happens because of the bully. That is what people were starting to see. The room is the place that makes things happen. The room allows it to happen. Things go on in the room. The room is where it all takes place. Emily fixed Marcus' jacket. Then she took a really deep breath. "I do not want this thing to be what people remember about me," Emily said. Marcus nodded. "It will not happen," he said. "The thing that is going to happen is that it can change something like the situation we are in with Marcus and the people around Marcus. Marcus is talking about something that can change." Emily looked at the shirt that was torn. It was there in her hands. The shirt was really torn. Emily was holding the shirt. She looked at the people at the bar. She saw the faces of the people who had been laughing. She saw the faces of the people who had said nothing. She saw the faces of the people who now looked like they were sorry. The faces at the bar really caught her attention. She said that the place should be different now. Then let it change this place, that is what she said. The place needs to be changed, she thinks. That was the moment when Gus did something that nobody expected. Gus surprised everyone with what he did. The man reached behind the bar. He flipped a small sign from "Open" to "Ceylon." He did this to let people know that the place was now closed. The small sign that said "Open" now said, Silosity, and people would have to come another time to visit the place. The man was closing up the bar, and the small sign was a part of that process. Right there. In the middle of the night. People opened their eyes wide, in surprise. Gus, what is Gus doing? Gus' voice was loud enough for everyone to hear. He said, This bar does not serve disrespect. He also said, Not anymore. If you laughed at her, if you stayed quiet, if you thought she deserved it, just because she is a waitress, then you can leave too. Gus Bar is a place where people should be treated with respect. That is what Gus meant. The people who do not like this can leave. Gus said that. A heavy silence. The chairs started scraping. It was such a noise. The chairs were really scraping against the floor. Not in anger. In accountability. The men stood up. They filed out of the room very quietly. This was not because they were told to leave. Because the men felt bad about what they had done for the first time. The men had finally realized what they had allowed to happen. It bothered them. Emily's eyes really hurt. It felt like something was irritating Emily's eyes. Not from humiliation. From something like hope. The man who needed help was the one who hurt her. This is a sad situation because the person who needed help the most was the same person who caused her a lot of pain. The man who needed help was the one who hurt her. It is really hard to understand why he did that. She probably trusted the man who needed help. That is what makes it even more hurtful. The man who needed help was the one who hurt her. Now she has to deal with the consequences of his actions. It has been 2 weeks now. 2 weeks have gone by. The story spread fast through town. It was not the kind of fire that burns houses. It was the kind of fire that burns excuses. This fire is the kind that people talk about the story, that everyone knows about the story, that spreads like wildfire through town, and it burns all the excuses people make. People were saying things about Emily like she was a big deal. Did you hear? They said. She is a Marine. They also said, she did not even cry. They said, she stared him down like she had seen worse things before. People said Emily stared him down, like she had seen things in her life as a Marine. People said it. They really meant it. They said it with admiration. People felt bad. Said it. They said it because they felt guilty about something. The thing is, some people said it. They did so with guilt. Some people said it with a kind of curiosity that's not good. They acted like what happened to her was something to watch and enjoy, like a show. Emily really did not like that part at all. She thought it was not very good. Emily hated that part of it. She did not want to be a headline. The woman really wanted to be left alone. She did not want anyone to bother her. The woman just wanted some peace and quiet. She wanted to be left alone to think about her life and the things that were going on with the woman. The bar is not the same anymore. The bar has changed a lot. I remember how the bar used to be. The bar is really different now. Gus put up rules. They were printed in really big letters, and he stuck them up behind the counter. Repeat, teach TF. No harassment. No excipients. Why you are amen. Boi di ma why from. Alifadia I am avagarate. At first some of the customers complained. They said it was too strict and too sensitive. Some of them even said, this is a bar, not a church. Gus did not move all. He finally understood something. If your business only works when people can be mean to each other, then your business deserves to fail. Your business should not be successful if it relies on people being cruel to one another. This is what he finally understood about business. If a business, like your business, needs people to be cruel, then your business does not deserve to be successful. Emily kept working. People started to look at Emily differently now. Some people were really kind to Emily. They tried to say sorry to Emily. Then, there were people who wanted to see how the new rules worked with Emily. Each time someone crossed the line, Gus was the one who made sure they knew it was not okay. He enforced the line every time someone tried to cross it. Gus enforced the line because he wanted to make sure everyone knew where the line was. No shouting. No drama. Just consequences. Emily thought that would be the end. Emily was really hoping that everything would be now. The thing that Emily was waiting for was finally done. Emily felt like she could move on with her life because Emily thought that would be the end. Instant karma really has a way of coming around, and it usually does this when it is teaching you something. Instant karma is like that, it just comes back to you. It is always carrying a lesson that you need to learn from instant karma. It was a night, and the store was about to close when the door creaked open. A man walked into the room. He stumbled inside. The man was really stumbling around. Not loud. Not proud. Not wearing leather-like armor. Just a soaked hoodie, shaking hands, and a face bruised by life. Emily knew who he was away. She recognized the man immediately. Emily was sure it was him. It wasn't Rex. This guy was part of Rex's crew. He was the one. You know, the one who looked really ashamed. The one who did not laugh, much as the others in Rex's crew. She remembered that the guy's name was Jonah. Jonah looked around. He seemed to think someone was going to jump out and hit him or something. Then his eyes landed on Emily. Jonah flinched when he saw Emily. He really did not like it when he saw Emily standing there. He spoke in a rough voice. "Please," he said. "I just really need some water. I also need a phone so I can make a call. The water is what I need most. And then I need to use the phone." Gus took a step forward slowly. He said, "Why?" Jonah swallowed hard. "Because Rex is not here," he said, his voice shaking. "Rex is really mad. At everyone. Rex is just not himself. It is scary." Emily's stomach felt like it was falling down. "What do you mean the situation is out of control?" "With the project." Jonah's hands were shaking badly. He said that this guy got out of jail because someone paid his bail. Rex thinks that he is safe now and cannot be hurt. He has been drinking alcohol all the time. Jonah said that Rex is talking about teaching people lessons, and that is really scary. Rex is talking about teaching lessons to people like he's in charge of everything. Gus cursed under his breath. He said, "Where is Gus going to find him?" Jonah's eyes moved fast. "I do not know what he is going to do. He said that he was coming to this place." Emily's chest felt really tight. Marcus had told Emily to call him if she felt like something was not right. He had said that he could get the police to drive by her place often. Emily had said no to that idea. Marcus had really wanted to help Emily, so he had offered to have the police patrol come by her house often. But Emily had still refused. This was not because she did not trust Marcus. She did not want to live her life like fear was in charge of what she did every day. Fear should not own her schedule. The woman wanted to be free from the fear that controlled her life. Fear was not going to tell her what to do. She was going to live her life, and fear was not going to own her schedule. But now fear was at the door again. Emily took a breath and then she said to Jonah, "Jonah, I want to know why you are telling us this, Jonah." Jonah's eyes got all teary. "This is because I was laughing," he said quietly. "I did not stop the person. I just stood there, did nothing. I really do not want to be that kind of person anymore. I do not want to be the guy who just stands by and laughs. I want to be the guy who does something about it. The guy who is Jonah." Gus looked over at Emily. Then he nodded his head. He picked up the phone that was sitting behind the bar. "We will call the police," Gus said. Jonah flinched. He said, "No, please do not do that." He was really scared. If Rex sees the police, Rex will run away. The police are what Jonah is talking about. Jonah is worried that if Rex runs away, he will hurt someone. Jonah does not want that to happen to anyone. Emily's mind was really fast. She could think of things to do in a split second. This was not something you would expect from her, because she was a quiet person. Emily was good at coming up with plans and ideas. This was not obvious from the way she acted. Emily's mind was very tactical. The woman recalled the time she spent training. She thought about her training, what she learned from it. The training was something that stuck with her. Not the Hollywood kind. The real kind at assessing risk, protecting civilians, controlling the environment. The lady said to Gus that he should lock the door. Gus stopped for a moment. "Emily," he said slowly. "I do not know where to start with this, Emily." She said, "Lock it." Gus did what he was told. Emily turned to Jonah. She said, "Sit down." Then she said, "Have a drink of water." After that, Emily said, "Tell me everything about what happened to the water and everything." Emily really wanted to know what Jonah had to say about the water and everything else. Jonah was really scared. He was shaking. He told the story in bits. The thing with Rex bail was not that simple. There were conditions. And then there was someone from Rex's past who wanted Rex to do something for them again. And now Rex was getting worse and worse. And Rex was looking for someone to blame for his problems. Rex was getting angry, and he needed someone to take it out on. "And it is you," Jonah said. "You are the one. He cannot stand that you did not give up." Jonah thought about this for a moment. He knew that you were strong. He hated that you did not break when things got tough. You were always the one who kept going no matter what happened. Jonah looked at you, said that he knew this about you. It is you that he hates because you did not break. Emily's throat got tight. She kept her voice steady. "I am not the person he's after," she said. "I am the reason he does what he does, his excuse for everything." Someone knocked on the door. It was a knock. The door made a knocking sound. This sound was coming from the side of the door. The door was making this noise because someone was knocking on it. Heavy. Confident. Gus' face turned really pale. Jonah's breathing got faster. Emily's fingers curled into a fist. Emily felt her hand tighten up and her fingers squeezed together to make a fist. This was something Emily did when she was feeling upset or angry, like Emily was now. Another knock, harder. Rex's voice was really loud. It came through the glass.
Open.
Nobody made a move. The people just stood there. Not a single person moved. Rex laughed. He said, "Oh, come on, sweetheart. Do not be shy. I just want to talk to you, sweetheart." Emily walked up to the door. Now she was right in front of it. The glass in the door made it possible to see her standing there. Emily was easy to see through the glass. Rex's smile got really big. "There she is," he said. "My favorite hero is really something that is my favorite hero." Emily did not raise her voice. "Leave," Emily said. Rex leaned close to the glass. His eyes were totally wild. He said, "You are the one who got me arrested. You are the one who humiliated me. The police took me away. Everyone saw it. You made the Rex look weak in front of all those people." Emily's eyes just stayed fixed on something. She said, "You did that." Rex's face got all twisted up. He said, "Do not try to be smart with me. I am going to make you pay for what you did." Rex is very angry. Rex wants revenge. Emily's heart was beating fast now. But she talked like someone who had been through something even tougher than these threats. Emily was not going to let the threats scare her. She told him that he was outside. She was inside. Now it was up to the man to decide what kind of man the man was going to be. Rex spit on the ground. He said, "I already made my choice." The man reached into his jacket. He was looking for something in his jacket. The jacket was where he kept his things, so he reached into his jacket to find what he needed. Gus flinched. Jonah jumped to his feet quickly. "Rex, do not." Rex quickly turned his head. "You," he shouted loudly. "You are a traitor," he said, his voice full of anger. He called out the word, traitor. Again, this time even louder, and he was talking about the person he called traitor. So then something crazy happened. Rex grabbed a metal trash can that was outside. He slammed it right into the glass. He did this before anyone even had a chance to react. The metal trash can and the glass made a loud noise when they crashed into each other. This all happened with Rex and the metal trash can and the glass. The bar just went crazy. People were really scared. They did not know what to do. The bar erupted in panic because something bad had happened. The bar was a place where people usually go to have a time, but now the bar was filled with people who were running around and screaming. The bar erupted in panic. It was a very scary situation. Not screaming, not chaos. People got really scared. It was not like a fight in a bar anymore. A disciplined fear took over. Everyone suddenly realized this was not a bar fight. This man was completely falling apart. Emily stepped back. She looked around for the doors so she could get out of there. She wanted to find something to hide, behind something to keep her safe. Emily was looking for safety, for a place to go where she could feel safe, where the thing that scared her could not get to her. Gus whispered to Emily, he said, "Emily, you need to call Marcus." Emily had her phone with her the time. She was holding it in her hand. The phone was already in Emily's hand when this happened. The woman did not dial the number. Not yet. She looked at Rex's movements. Then she looked at how Rex was breathing. Rex was really interesting to her. She kept looking at Rex. The woman saw something that caught her attention. She noticed something that made her stop and think about the situation. The woman realized that something was not quite right. She noticed something. His hand wasn't steady. His eyes did not seem to be focused like a man who has a plan. These people were really scared, like a man who is drowning in the water and cannot breathe. They were so worried that they did not know what to do. The situation was very serious for them, like a man drowning. Rex wasn't just angry. He was desperate. The third slam really hit the glass. The glass was not going to be okay after that third slam hit it. The third slam was pretty strong. It hit the glass with a lot of force. A crack spidered across it. Rex's voice became really loud. He started yelling. He said, "You think you are better than Rex." Emily took another step forward. She was not being careless. "Rex," Emily said. Her voice was louder this time. "You need to listen to Emily." Rex stopped moving for a split second. He was really surprised that she said his name. Rex like it was nothing to be scared of. Emily's voice became really gentle. It was not because she wanted to make him feel better. She just wanted to be in charge of what was happening. "This is not going to end the way you think it is," Emily said. "You are not hurting me. You are hurting the person who matters most. Yourself. You are destroying yourself." Rex's eyes flickered for a moment. It was like there was still a person inside Rex somewhere. The door behind Emily opened. A woman came into the room. She was probably in her 20s. The woman looked really tired. Her clothes were completely soaked from the rain. The woman looked at the glass and she said, "Oh no," in a really quiet voice. She was looking at the cracked glass. The cracked glass was what she was staring at. Emily turned around. She said, "Who are you?" to the person standing there. Emily was looking at the person. She wanted to know who the person was. The woman took a breath, and then she said that her name is Leela. She said that Rex is her brother. The woman said this about Leela and Rex. Emily's stomach felt like it was falling down. Emily felt really scared. Emily's heart was beating very fast. This was happening to Emily. It was not a good feeling for Emily. Leela took a step forward. Her whole body was shaking. "Please," she said to Emily. "He is not okay. The thing is, he has not been okay since. Well, since something happened to him. Now he is like this all the time. He is really not okay, Emily." A loud crash cut her off. The glass finally broke into pieces. The glass was broken now. Rex's arm went through. He put his arm through. The arm of Rex went through. And the entire bar screamed at once. Respect is not something that people give you easily. You have to learn how to get respect. That can be a tough process. People do not just give respect to anyone. You have to earn it. That is something that you learn over time. Respect is learned the way by going through difficult situations and coming out on top. You can learn a lot from your experiences. That is how you get respect from other people. Respect is not something that you can buy or take from someone. It is something that you have to work for and earn. People who have respect for others are the ones who have learned it the way. They know what it takes to earn respect. They give respect to those who deserve it. Respect is an important thing, and it is learned the hard way. Glass fell down onto the floor. It was like pieces of confetti. The glass was over the place. Glass rained down everywhere, making a mess. The sound of the glass hitting the floor was really loud. Glass was over the floor. It was a pretty scary thing to see. People were running all over the place. Chairs were scraping against the floor and tables were tipping over. It was panic. Gus was yelling at everyone to get back. When people are scared, they do not listen to what others are telling them. The noise of all these people being afraid was much louder than Gus telling them what to do. People were following their instincts of listening to Gus. Emily did not run. Not because she was fearless. She knew what happens when fear is in charge. Fear can really take over when you let it. She had learned that the hard way, so she knew what fear does when you let it drive. The woman moved. She actually got up, moved. The woman made a move. Fast, controlled, purposeful. She took the bar stool and pushed it sideways into the doorway that was broken. This was not a solution. It was not something that would last forever. It was enough to slow down Rex for a little while. Gus shouted, "Back." He started to move people towards the back door. He wanted everyone to go out that way. The people had to get out of there. Gus was telling them to go to the rear exit. Jonah just stood there staring at Rex. It was like he was seeing something bad happen in front of him. Emily grabbed Jonah's sleeve, said move to him. She wanted him to get out of there. Jonah was looking at Rex like he was something that Jonah did not want to see. Emily told him to move so they could get away from Rex. Jonah blinked, then he moved his body. Jonah did this because he wanted to go. The movement was small at first. Then Jonah started to walk. He took a steps and Jonah kept moving forward. Outside, Rex's face was there in the broken window frame. His eyes were wild. His hair was all wet. You could see the anger over him like water shaking off after a rain. He tried to push his way, but the bar stool got in the way and hit his shoulder. The man let out a shout. He grabbed the stool, and he pulled it away from there. Emily walked into the man's line of sight. She was now standing right where the man could see her. Emily was, in his view, not as a waitress, not as prey. I am a woman who has dealt with some bad people, and I do not want to be like them. I have seen monsters, and I will not become a monster, like the monsters I have seen. The woman said to Rex, "Stop," and her voice was really clear when she said it. Rex took a step forward. He moved fast and Rex did not slow down. Rex just kept going. Emily did not strike him. She did not escalate the violence. Emily kept things calm. Did not fight back. The situation with Emily and him did not get worse because of Emily. She used leverage to